Good morning once again. Thank you so much for joining us today for our June Lunch and Learn. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the City of Houston Housing and Community Development June's Lunch and Learn, Hurricane Preparedness, Alert Today, Alive Tomorrow. My name is Latasha Smith, and I am the Community Involvement Coordinator for the newly named Communications and Outreach Division. As we all know, June 1st was the official start of the 2022 hurricane season. Today's event is to empower our constituents and community leaders to be vigilant, be prepared, and ready. We will bring to your attention two agencies that are great resources for our senior populations during this season. We have two great presenters this morning and a lot of information to share and a lot of ground to cover. So we want to go ahead and get started as soon as possible. But before we get started, I would like to mention a few housekeeping rules. Today, the first thing, please make sure that all audio remain muted throughout the presentations. Second, we are requesting that you put any questions in the chat box function. During the question and answer portion, we will assure that our presenters will tend to those at that time. Lastly, this is a recorded event. The recording and the presentation will be available to you on next week. So please make sure that if you desire that, to let us know if you did not register, you're more than welcome to put your information in the chat. So now we'll go ahead and get started with our program, and I will give this over to Ms. Becky Benitez, our community liaison, for the agenda for today.
Thank you, Tasha. Our agenda for today is the introduction of our director and our outreach staff, our mini commercial, our fair housing hotline, sorry about that. Introduction of today's guests and presenters, City of Houston Office of Emergency Management, Interfaith Ministry of Greater Houston, Harris County Precinct 3 Constable Office video, questions and answers, and upcoming events, and finally, the final remark. Thank you.
Thank you, Becky. And now to the introduction of our director, Mr. Keith W. Bynum. And now we will have the introduction of our outreach team, Ms. Onika Porter, the administrative manager, Latasha Smith, the community involvement coordinator, Pedro Sosa, community liaison, Becky Benitez, community liaison, and Dejanay Jones, community liaison.
All right. So now we are up to the individuals that you came to listen to today. We have two great presenters, as I stated before. We have Mr. Thomas Munez. He is with the City of Houston Office of Emergency Management. He is the Emergency Management Coordinator. We also have Matthew Wright. He is with Interfaith Ministries for Greater Houston, a United Way agency. He is the director of Meals on Wheels operation. We also have for you today, unfortunately, she was unable to attend. However, we have a video for you to see. Her name is Charlotte Jackson. She is with Harris County Constable Precinct 3. She is the program coordinator for Are You OK video. This program is for seniors to assist them, and you will learn more about that particular program through their video and their interview on channel 26 that we will show later in the event. Now we're going to go into Mr. Thomas Munez. I am going to stop sharing my presentation so Mr. Munez can get ready for his presentation. Like I stated before, Mr. Muniz is with the Office of Emergency Management, and he will be speaking to us today about Disaster Preparedness Houston. This particular agency, like I stated, is a part of the City of Houston. It is responsible for coordinating emergency response for the city. The OEM also provides information and services to residents, businesses, and city departments, and coordinates Houston emergency response during the time of a disaster. They will go over the checklist, make and practice your family emergency plan, build emergency kit, be informed, know your neighbors. And now I am going to give this over to Mr. Muniz to finish this presentation so you can learn more about what the city does for as this department, Office of Emergency Management. So thank you, and I hope you're ready to learn.
Know how and when to turn off your utilities. A lot of times what happens during storms, people might have electric stoves. They're in the process of cooking. They have something on. Electricity goes off. They have a pot or a pan they've been using to cook. Once that electricity goes off, obviously they can't cook anymore. But the problem is once it goes back on, people tend to forget. And that's how we have a lot of the house fires as well. So it's important to have that in mind and know how to turn them off and remember to turn them off. Understand that your planning may be different this year because of the need to protect others from COVID, which has been a problem, but obviously it's on the rise. But right now, the state is back to letting us operate as normal. Case in point, when we had to evacuate or put people in shelter, we had to reduce by 50%. That's not the case anymore. Build an emergency kit. Have your go bags ready to go. More importantly, have a copy of your important papers such as insurance, any banking statements that you're going to need. So have all those papers ready with you. First aid kits, radio with extra batteries. Have enough water you can for a couple of days, 3 days we recommend. Cash, that is very important because with the cash, a lot of times people forget that ATMs do not work or the bank might be closed. So it's important to take that cash with you in the event that we don't have electricity and you're not able to get your money from your banking institute. Once again, COVID is still out there, so bring those that protect you from the COVID, which is hand sanitizers, face coverings per person, those types of things. If you're going to stay at home, water and food for 7 days, radio with extra batteries, as we mentioned, some plastic sheeting and tarps in the event there is some roof damage or water damage, fire extinguisher, cash, and once again, plywood for those windows in the event there is a storm coming. So building an emergency kit, the pet emergency kit, immunization records, strong leash and collars, please. The pet carriers are so important. Current photos of the pets in case you lose them. If you do have a microchip in your pet, please have that information ready. Food and water for them and any pet first aid kit or medication that they might have for those areas for that pet. Some unique family needs that people should remember is having those medications. I cannot emphasize that enough. Contact your doctor prior to have an extra month supply of medication if you need that. Also remember that if there is some medication that's got to be refrigerated, please, make arrangements to have that medication either in a ice container or a ice chest to have that ready to go. Infant formula, right now that's very important to grab because obviously we've been having a shortage throughout the country. This is important to have ready to go at all times as well, and diapers that are usually hard to come by. So one of the things we got to do is remember your medications. I cannot emphasize that enough with the medication piece because time and time again, people think that they have enough and they recognize that, case in point, Puerto Rico, there was drugstores were non-existent for about 2 months. So it's very important to have that. Be informed. through your local radio, through our official social media site, with our our public information that we have through our webpage, which is, Houston Emergency Operations Center or Houston Office of Emergency Management. And then, of course, our alerts that we send out continuously through the community. Alert Houston, which is one of our products that we have to inform people of what is happening. Of course, the Weather Service does have their WEA that sends out information in our emergency notification system, which is so important. Be informed. One of the things that we are doing is the wireless emergency alerts. You can go and get this information and register if you go to ready.gov alerts. So what it does is, once you're registered or we have this to get more information, we can send that information out and people are getting these alerts. So if you want to get more information on that, you can go ahead and go into ready.gov alerts, and this will give you the information that's needed. So you can start getting, if you look to your right, what is happening in the area, how you can stay safe. So it gives a lot of great message, a lot of great information with that. Basically, you go in there, you download the app, and that's what you get. So no sign up is required. This is very, very important to, I mentioned that before, know your neighbors. A stronger community recovers faster. Neighbors can be a great source working together, being able to, help each other out. Sharing of supplies and skills can help you recovering faster. Follow this, but once again, follow the social distancing recommendations to protect yourselves. What are we doing to prepare our community? We have the Community Emergency Response Team, which is CERT, the Neighborhood Ready, and OEM does have publications and materials. So if you reach out to our office, we can get you some of that. If you have any neighborhood event coming up, we can coordinate with you and have that information ready to go for you. People with functional or access needs. This is one that we're very proud to have a plan after a new House bill was passed. So if you look to the right, the State of Texas Emergency Assistance Registry, or STAR, when you go in there, if you look into the system, it allows you to register online, which is, if you look at the bottom, register online at texassteer.org, or by calling 211 to get the information. So those individuals that are medically either bedbound or are medically fragile, that they can't evacuate during a time of disaster, this will allow us to have that information ready. But more importantly, what we're doing now is double checking and triple checking with the numbers that are given to us, the phone number, to ensure that you're safe. If you weren't able to evacuate, we go out and make sure we make contact with the person to ensure the safety. And this goes along with the building a support team of neighbors, health caretakers, and ourselves, the health department, police department, fire department. So these are some things that we're working on here within the city to help our citizens during times of disaster and after. So the big question, do I need to evacuate? Some things that we have to look at. Are you in the evacuation zone? Once that decision has been made, we will notify citizens by evacuation zone, knowing what evacuation zone you're in. Obviously, our social media is going to tell you what area you're in, what evacuation zone, and what time you should evacuate. And the other things that you have to know when you're evacuating, what type are you going to need electricity to sustain life? That's when you have to register for STEER and say, hey, look, I'm pretty much dependent on electricity, so we have to know how to help you during time of evacuation. The other thing is your home strong enough to withstand the force of the wind? So you have to know the structure of your home. Where is it? What's the impact going to be? Am I going to be able to stay in my home? These are the things that you really have to pay attention to when we're passing out information, whether it's through news media or social media. You have to be aware of those. And on our OEM or Office of Emergency Management webpage, we have that information that could help you stay well informed of that. So before severe weather, it's important to know about your flood insurance. Do you have it? Here's some on the right side of the page. You have that information. Floodsmart.gov, which will tell you what you have, why it's important to have it. And then Harris County does have their org page, which is the flood education mapping tool, which gives you a good idea of how the flooding has been impacted historically in your area. So it's important to know these things. And then of course, you do have your weather service radio alert, which gives out that information. But it's important to go into the mapping tools that Harris County has and floodsmart.gov to understand what is my flood risk. But the biggest source of information will be the media and the social media that we're pushing out to let you know what are the possibilities, and then in the historical data that you have, we can help you with that and identify what area you're in. So evacuation, when do we do this? Is only done when we're removing you out of the area to save life, right? They might be called for neighborhoods or for large areas, depending on the area, depending on storm surge. So here at the at the Office of Emergency Management, we're continuously monitoring, seeing. We have 672 square miles in the city of Texas, in the city of Houston, that we're able to see. Okay, this area is going to be impacted, and we start notifying that area, not necessarily the whole city. So we look at a lot of perimeters, a lot of indicators that might be impacting certain areas of the city, and that's how we focus on that. So once again, paying attention to what was coming out of our office, our guidance from the mayor's office on the plans for evacuation and shelters, which includes pets, and then of course listening to the evacuation orders from officials, such in our case, the mayor. Once again, our neighborhood emergencies will be notified by the social media, but also by emergency notification systems that will let you know, hey, it's time to evacuate. And that's definitely going to be posted, and people will be aware of that. Large scale emergencies, we always use the media and social media. And then if we do have to go to disaster shelter, we will be coordinating, utilizing safety guidelines such as the Center for Disease Control and any recommendations to ensure your safety at all times. So here's your evacuation zones. It's going to be color coded. Once we start indicating, for example, zip zone A, please start evacuating first. So we start looking at all of this area and paying attention to what evacuation zone can definitely either prevent you from leaving, from making unnecessary trips, or it'll tell you if it's time to evacuate. So please pay attention to that. And then after the disaster, this is where our office does do a lot of work to ensure that you're getting the assistance that you need. The FEMA assistance I mentioned earlier, we have lily pads, as we're calling them, but more importantly, we're setting up hubs, resiliency hubs within the community where people can go and get information and help towards a recovery process. And these areas where we're coordinating to make sure that we have canned goods, water, food, any type of maybe first aid equipment, but more importantly, setting up the right agencies that are going to help you get back to a recovery and help you during those times of disaster. So this is a big initiative that we're working on with the mayor's office, and it's very proactive in making sure that the citizens have the help that's needed for the recovery. And where can we get some information for you if you need some? Like I mentioned, our HoustonEmergency.org, which is our City of Houston emergency information. HoustonRecovers.org, which gives you a disaster recovery resource. Our office, which is HoustonOEM.org, which gives you the preparedness resources and information on OEM. And then our Houston 311, which has a lot of information on recovery resources that you could be utilized, and where to go if you don't have, if they can't give you the information, or have the knowledge base of where to send people. They do have the capability to refer you to other areas. So very helpful line with that. I know that was, our in a nutshell, but one thing that the city is also doing is ensuring that we that the compassion piece, as I mentioned before, we're very adamant on that. I'm very adamant on that. After seeing numerous disasters throughout the country, I understand the importance of that, and being able to support when it's needed the most is what we're working on. Our plans, we have a great staff that's utilizing technology, knowledge to make sure that the city is safe before and after a disaster. But Ms. Smith, that's all I have. If there's any questions.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Thomas, for that. We're going to save all the questions to the end, but our next speaker is Mr. Matthew Wright, and he comes from Interfaith Ministries of Greater Houston. And I'm going to put up his slide. I'll hand it over to you, Mr. Wright.
All right. Well, good morning, everybody, and thank you for letting me speak today. My name is Matthew Wright. I'm Director of Operations for the Meals on Wheels program at Interfaith Ministries. We provide meals to over 5,000 clients within Harris County and Galveston County. We also have another project called Anna Meals, which helps provide supplemental pet food for our clients that request it. We provide about 120,000 pounds of pet food throughout the course of the year. Currently, that represents about 1,000 to 1,100 animals in the area. We are, of course, in the midst of hurricane season, and one of the projects that we do is called Operation Impact. It's a yearly program that we do to help prepare our seniors for the potential of any weather-related disturbances that may occur that prevents delivery to them. So every May, June, we do a delivery of shelf-stable meals. We provide them 5 meals as emergency. That is good for the entire hurricane season. Any current clients will get those. We do that through our drivers, through volunteers, and then any new clients that come on board during the hurricane season will also receive these meals. You can go to the next slide as well. Nobody needs to see that picture of me. We can move forward. Thank you.
That is a good picture, Mr. Wright. Don't discount yourself. You're a great man, and we appreciate it.
You're very kind. Thank you. So Interfaith Ministries has been around for over 50 years. Meals on Wheels is definitely one of our big programs, along with refugee services. As we've all seen in the news, the Afghan refugee situation has been a huge topic, and we are very proud on resettling these refugees that come vetted through the State Department and help them get on board and be self-sufficient with work and education programs. And they are self-sufficient within 6 months. We also have interfaith relations and community partnerships, which is kind of our policy-driven side, and also works with faith communities and faith leaders in the Houston-Galveston area. And then Volunteer Houston is a newer program we've had for a few years, which is a great opportunity for any nonprofits outside of Interfaith if they want to promote any events, anything they need to help recruit volunteers for. Volunteer Houston is a great platform to utilize. So anyone that's that needs a volunteer recruitment page, Volunteer Houston is a great resource that could help you out. Again, like I said, we deliver to over 5,000 clients in the Houston-Galveston area. We do have 5 counties between Montgomery County, Liberty County, and Chambers. On top of that, we have some great partners in those areas that help us deliver to those clients that are far-reaching for us. Again, we talk about Anna Meals program, which is a fantastic program because it's 100% volunteer driven. Like I said, we've delivered over 120,000 pounds a year, and a lot of that is donated food through different charity groups like PetSmart Charities, Chewy, a lot of individual donors, and it again, it's supplemental. It makes sure that they're using that food for their pets. A lot of the reason why this program came up is because drivers started noticing clients were sharing their actual meals with their pets because they didn't have pet food. And, we want to be able to provide them 100% nutrition. So that's how this program came out. And it's because of our drivers and our volunteers who saw a need, and that's how this program came about. So because we do have over 5,000 clients that we deliver to, whether it's, we have a lot of partners that help us deliver this and volunteers in all the areas. And so Operation Impact is a huge part of our yearly plan. And besides delivering the food to them, we also deliver a Ready Houston bag, which is through the Ready Houston, Texas office for emergency preparedness. And like what Mr. Munoz talked about, having a plan, having your preparedness ready. We provide this bag that has a document bag in it, so they can it's waterproof. They can keep all their stuff in it just in case. A pill box, so they can have plenty of prescriptions on hand just in case. And collateral material and documents on how to prepare themselves in case there is going to be a situation that is going to require planning. And we take those out with the meals every year, and again, any new clients get those as well. So we are taking new clients. The way Meals on Wheels is divvied up in the city, we're one of 9 providers. So there is zip codes that we service. And we are taking new clients. If for whatever reason, if a client who is looking for services, if we are not their zip code provider, we will make sure that they get referred to the right provider for that area. We'll post in the chat boxes a web link for people to actually go and apply for intake online to see if they qualify. And this is some of the collateral material that we use. We're actively looking for veterans, anyone that's any seniors that are 60 and over that are veterans. We have specific funding to help them out through the Texas Veterans Commission. No one has to pay for any of these meals, so we don't ask money from any of our clients for any of this services that we provide. We'll have flyers on here. If anyone is interested in the actual flyer, we can have that emailed to you. My contact information will be in the chat link at the end, and I can send this information to everybody. So if you have any, say, centers or senior centers or any places that you feel someone might be interested in this information, please give them the flyers and the information. Let them make the call if they they have a caretaker that might be able to help them out with this as well. And again, there's even an online form that they can fill out, and we have an intake specialist that'll be able to go through the questions and vet it out and get some more information before they get sent to an assessor. And the assessor will actually do a little bit more of an in-depth process. Again, since the pandemic began, we have not had a wait list. Logistically, we've been able to take on more and more clients. We've grown by about 800 in the last 2 years, and the counties I just said earlier. And right now we are delivering frozen meals to the clients. COVID kind of had us shift their operations a little bit, but they are 5 full meals. Some clients do require a little bit more nutrition, and we do have about 25% of our clients also receive supplemental and like weekend meals, maybe shelf-stable breakfast items that are good for the week. We deliver about over 2 million meals over the course of the year between all the frozen meals and breakfast and weekends as well. It's an amazing work environment that we're in, that we have so many volunteers and sub-recipients that assist us. I think I'm going to name one just because I know they're on the call here, but Humble Area Assistance Ministries helps us deliver to about 150 clients in that area for us on a weekly basis. We're always looking for more volunteers to help us out. Going back to the hurricane information, this is the time of year where we make sure the clients have their contact information updated, emergency contact, because after a storm, if we haven't seen a client, if they're not home, we want to be able to do our diligence to see if they're okay. Maybe they had to go with a family member. Maybe they had to go somewhere else in the meantime. Same with what happened after the winter storm last year. It really caused a lot of chaos because people had houses that got pipes busted and flooding, and making sure we had the right information to contact people just to make sure they were okay and find out where they're at. And I think, do we have one more slide, or did I finish that off there, Latasha? All right. So again, we'll post that information in the chat. I'll put the web link in there. And then if there's anything else, I'll put my contact so you can email me and I'll be able to assist y'all with any questions that you may have. So thank you very much for letting me speak today. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Mr. Wright. So our very last information that we will share today will be the Harris County Precinct 3 Are You Okay program. Like I stated at the very beginning, unfortunately, Miss Jackson had a family issue, so she couldn't be here today with us. However, she sent some information over and a video that a segment from Channel 26 that they did an interview about the program. So at this time, I will show that particular video, and then we will have our questions and answers. So if you have any questions and about the presentation so far, please make sure that you put that in the chat, and we will definitely get to those questions once the video is finished.
Or you might think, uh-oh, or oh no, what happened?
But as Fox 26's John Lee Keith tells us, in this case, the better question is, oh my, what is it?
Do these deputies have their guns? Check. They've got their handcuffs? Check. And they also have this. They brought gifts, and it's all part of their Are You Okay program.
That's just a Mother's Day gift to let you know how much we love you.
This Mother's Day weekend surprise is a welcome pop-up party for mother of 3, Bobby Madkins.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, I just appreciate everything.
You see, she's in the Harris County Constable Precinct 3's Are You Okay program for senior citizens. So these deputies have come bearing gifts.
But everybody's been so nice.
The program is exciting because it builds relationships. It helps change the quality of life in some seniors.
We have so many seniors that they're suffering in silence. They're right here in our own neighborhood.
There are 500 seniors in Are You Okay and CASA, the Spanish-speaking initiative. As part of the program, every day, Precinct 3 deputies call enrolled seniors, reaching out to each once a week to check on them.
We talk about plants that died over the freeze. We talk about food we ate.
We'll take them food. We'll take them water. We take them microwaves.
And for holidays, like Mother's Day, they take presents to participants.
If you're 55 and over, that you can qualify for the program.
If they can't reach the seniors by phone, the deputies go to their home.
We check on them, we get to know them.
I've had a lady come to my house that she taught me how to cook a dish that I've always wanted to cook.
Major David Jones recently put a woman in the program whose loved ones couldn't reach her.
She was kind of in a depressed state, and we went in and talked to her, and I told her, I said, hey, you family now, so you got to let me in.
Precinct 3 Constable Sherman Eagleton implemented Are You Okay in 2017.
He's one of 12 children, and when his father passed away, the community had to help raise him and his siblings. So he has that big place in his heart for senior adults.
If you would like to sign up for the Are You Okay program, you can live anywhere in the Houston area. You don't have to live in Precinct 3. In Precinct 3, I'm John Lee Keith. Have a happy Mother's Day, Fox 26 News.
So that is Are You Okay program. I know we have given you a lot of information, particularly the last one. This particular program, like she stated, is not only just for precinct, not just for precinct 3, but this program is for anyone that is 55 of age and older, and you can live anywhere in the city of Houston or part of Harris County, and you can sign up for this particular program. Also, those individuals that are part of nonprofit agencies that have clients that would like to utilize the program, she definitely wanted me to tell you all that the program is open to anyone, as well as they are accepting anyone. So if you have a senior that that does not have family that is local, or even can get to them, and or someone that maybe just need the extra help, this is the perfect program for them. As well as I must mention Interfaith Ministries with Meals on Wheels. Also, one element that I would like to reiterate is a lot of our seniors have animals. And like he stated before in his presentation, the need was there. And because you have a volunteer that saw that need, it established a program that now that they help animals as well, their animals. And if you have dealt with seniors, their animals are sometimes their kids. So therefore, that help is needed. They may be on a budget. So this program is perfect. And once again, Mr. Munez, telling you about how to be prepared. We must stay prepared and vigilant on what we need to do. So now I'm going to go to the chat to see if we have any questions. And Becky, do we have any questions?
Yes, ma'am, we do.
All right, take it.
We have a question for Mr. Matthew. They want to know if the question for Mr. Matthew is, do that senior have to be registered with your program to get the to-go bag?
The answer to that is yes, sort of. I looked up where you're located. You actually are in one of our service areas that we have a very high concentration of individuals. So if you want to direct me your direct phone number, and maybe we can talk, because I may already have clients that we serve in those apartments, and maybe we can assist a little bit. We do have extras on hand that we keep for any new clients. So maybe we can work something out to assist you.
And another question, Mr. Matthew, they want to know if they assist refugees of any ages.
So that's one of my weak spots, and I'm actually going to type it here right now. Sorry, I hit the mute button. I'm gonna send it here in the chat box with the contact information. Ahmed is our program manager. And I know with the refugees, there's a lot of stipulations on grant money and the government funding and things like that. So yes, it's the families that I haven't really seen an age. I'm sure that's not necessarily designed for minors that don't have a guardian. But Ahmed or Ali will be the two best people to ask that question of if you have specifics. Because there's other agencies in town that we partner with, so some of them may be able to help in different aspects. So I would start with Ahmed first, and the numbers there in the box for you.
Perfect. Let's see. I think we have another question. Can a person 58 and mentally disabled on housing receive Meals on Wheels and Are You Okay program?
So 60 and over is the typical age because of the funding platform, but there is another agency called the Department of Aging and Disability that is it's also called called DADS, and they typically help with individuals. There's really not an age limit for people on that, and I can put that phone number for DADS in the chat box here in just a second. I know I've got it somewhere.
Okay.
And Becky, while he is getting that information, could we go to the next question? I don't know where you stopped at. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. They want to know, do you all know if the Are You Okay program works leading up to, during, and after a disaster? Do they increase frequency of calls, for example? And it stops there.
I would say because I am not the representative for that particular program or that agency, but I would say the more we get into the hurricane season with anything, and I'm sure Mr. Wright can vouch for this as well, you will increase in calls, increase in individuals needing the service, but this program is year round. This is not something that they just do during the hurricane season. This program is year round, and like they said, from when they first began this program to where we're at now, it has increased totally. And each year, the more the information is getting out about the program, the more people are wanting to participate in it. And that is, I'm sure that is the goal. That is why they are giving more information about the program, so you all can participate in it, because maybe they have more funding, and it could be funding is based on how many people is in the program. So I would say, and this is just my opinion, that the more you get into a season like the hurricane season or the summer, because of the heat and everything, I would think everything will pick up far as the services.
Would it be all right if I ask a question on the mic right quick?
Sure.
Thank you very much. My name is Terry Tova Wilkinson. I am the caseworker and lead case manager for American Red Cross Disaster Recovery Team. And my question is, I have someone who has continually, since the last disaster here recently, been trying to get the ANA meals and keeps, applying and calling and applying and cannot get anybody to help her with that. Is there another number or a number that you can give me that she can actually speak to someone that can look at her application and see if she qualifies? She's 82 years old and disabled and does receive Meal on Wheels. She has Meals on Wheels every week. So can you help me with that to get the ANA Meals person in charge to look at her application?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to put my email in the
Perfect.
chat
Thank
box and everything, and you can send it to me. So if you have the client's name and address, email to me, and I'll go from there.
God bless you. Thank you for your help. And this is a wonderful seminar. I'm learning a lot, and I appreciate everybody for their help and information.
Thank you. All right. Do we have any more questions, Becky?
I do not see any more questions here.
All right. All right. Well, I know that maybe some of you still have questions. Please leave your question in the chat. We will make sure that you get the answer. But I want to thank everyone for taking out the time to come and definitely listen to the presenters that we had, and also to be so open to the information that we have provided today. One thing that our department is trying to do is make more awareness to the different agencies that are there to support our constituents and our community leaders. So definitely I am thankful for you all. Thank you, Mr. Wright. Also, Mr. Muniz, he had another meeting, so he had to leave out. But I know Allison, the person that he was referring to, was on chat. However, if you have questions for him, if you think of a question, you all have my email. I will definitely put my email again in the chat. You're more than welcome to email me your questions, and I will get that information. I think I could speak for all the presenters, all our outreach team, our department as a whole. We definitely understand the importance of unifying ourselves unifying our the different agencies to work together for the betterment of our different communities and the people that we see every single day. So these are the type of programs that we have. We have them every single month. We focus on something else, either a program within our department or a subject matter that we feel like affects the community as a whole. So I thank you once again for your time, your beautiful Friday, even your lunchtime. So I'm going to give this over to Miss Onika Porter to close us out. But once again, from my heart, I say thank you. Remember the 3 E's that we do in our department does to educate, empower, and elevate. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Tasha. And I would like to thank all of our presenters for joining us today with all the helpful information. Thank you for everyone that came on and registered to come and get the information. Please continue to register for our future events. We appreciate you. And if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're available. Our contact information should be in the chat. Thank you guys again. I would like to thank the outreach team for always doing an amazing job. Thank you.